Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this series of strategies and tactics, today we are going to be talking about a different tactic, or it's basically you go full attack mode from the starting. If your opponent is a beginner or does not know this opening, he's pretty much finished for the game. So this opening is known as the Wayward Queen attack. This is my second most favorite attack since if the opponent does not realize that the opponent is not paying much attention, then you can get this attack really kicking. Or if the opponent knows how to respond, there are a few moves which might trick your opponent into making the checkmate. So this is an opening where you try to checkmate your opponent as fast as possible. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now the most common opening in chess would be, here if we check, it is e4. Then the most second most common opening is e5. Now if it is very common that you get into these type of circumstances, e4 e5. Now it's good that the opening starts out that the opening starts out like this. That's because you can play the wayward queen attack. If you're in high rating games, or if you're basically in in advanced rating, it'll be very bad for you to try this since your opponent might already know. Now this is known as the open game e4 e5. Now then the how to bring out the wayward queen. It has queen in it, so the second step is to put your queen on h5. This is called the wayward queen attack or the Parham attack. Now there are a couple of moves which black can respond. First move, if black is not paying much attention or does not know how to respond to this opening, they will want to kick this queen out. Now what black might do is play g6. If black plays g6, well, they're finished for the game. This move is a blunder as it allows queen h5 check. And this, you might ask, well, what's so good about this move? Well, first of all, it you are leading by 1 point. You're leading by 1 point, and second of all, you are you have a direct access attack to the rook. So, for example, let's just say that I defend with queen e7. Then it's a free rook, and then you can keep drilling your way through these defenses. Or let's just say that the opponent is knows how to play stuff and plays bishop h6. Then this is a free pawn. Now let's just say that we are back into the wayward queen and your opponent does not play this. He is a little bit more advanced. He does not want to give up his rook for free after the check. Then if he does not see the checkmate threat coming after this, he might play something like what do you call, protecting this pawn, knight c6. Now this is the next move is bishop c4, and with this move there is mate in one. If black does not realize this and play b5 or something, this is checkmate. Now again, let's explore more openings. This your opponent might also play knight f6. This is called the kitty counter gambit, and this is very much seen when in intermediate levels where where opponents don't want to give up their rook on h8. This is the kitty counter gambit, and there are plenty of ways to defend against this. If, for example, your opponent plays kitty counter gambit, then you can always take on the e5 square, or you can just stay, or you can go back to f3 waiting for a checkmate here. For this variation, let's just take it's a check, and the queen comes in the rescue, and now you pretty much lost your chances of making a checkmate on f7 square since it is guarded by the queen. Now let's just think that another opening is played. Most of the time, this move is played as well. It is not given a specific name because it's very less shown. Then you can play bishop c4 and try to make a checkmate here if the opponent is not attentive. Now let's just say your opponent is attentive and plays this, guarding this pawn, and when you play this, when you try to make a checkmate here, he plays g6. Now if you looked at the previous openings which I taught you in this video, the first few openings, you might know that g6 is a blunder since it gives up the rook for free. But this g6 is guarded. Now the only way to get this rook is by checking the king and the rook. And how do you do that? By taking on the e5 square. But if you take on the e5 square, the c6 knight can capture you. Now this is when you're pretty much out of options. You still have one neat option left, which is bringing your queen back to f3, which this also tries the same checkmate threat over here, but the opponent thinks, but if the opponent thinks that hey, this guy is done, his checkmate threat is done, now let's go back to developing or do something like this to bring his bishop out, then this is checkmate. Now let's just say, for example, you do get in this type of situation. And now here, if the knight goes to f6, well, you have lost your chances of making the scholar's mate. The scholar's mate is it's basically a mate where the bishop and queen are in tune to make checkmate on the f7 square. You basically lost your chances of making a scholar's mate. No, but still, the knight is pinned to this square, so he can't capture on the e4 square. And when this kind of position is there, you should basically focus on opening out your pieces or play this move and put pressure on the knight. Play this move and put pressure on the knight. Well, so this video talks about the wayward queen attack and its and how to play it. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.